If you're new to garment sewing, even a simple woven t-shirt can feel like a big leap. You're trying to follow pattern instructions, keep track of pieces, and hope you don't miss something that ruins the whole project. And when that feels overwhelming, it's easy to decide that making clothes just isn't worth the effort yet. So in this video, I'm sewing a woven t-shirt in just 1 hour, start to finish, and timing the entire process so you can see what actually matters. We'll use the free Hansie pattern with only 5 pieces, and I'll walk you through the beginner-friendly shortcuts I use to keep things simple, clean, and approachable, whether this is your first top or your 100th. All right, I've got my tea and I'm ready to head out to the shed for some sewing. Let's see if I can do this in an hour and film it at the same time. Now, if you saw my video with my original plan, you might remember I was going to use this beautiful black rayon velvet. I still really love this idea, but now that the holidays are over, I just wasn't feeling the velvet vibe anymore. Velvet just feels so heavy and festive, I guess. I found this beautiful cotton gauze from Blackbird Fabrics in my stash, and I thought it would make a great t-shirt. It's black and lightweight with these pretty little tan flowers all over it. This is actually left over from one of our samples at Seamwork, so this is a true stash buster project. Now, because this is a gauze with a natural crinkle to it, I didn't want to press it completely flat and eliminate all that beautiful texture. So I just pressed it along the edges and selvage so that it would lay flat during cutting and gave the rest a light steam to keep that lovely crinkle everywhere else. What I love about Hansie is that the shape is so simple. You can make it in a huge variety of fabrics and you can get a ton of different looks. I think it looks incredible in really textured fabrics like cotton jacquards, but it also works beautifully in basics like lawn or voile, or even fancy fabrics like velvet or silk. Plus, with only 5 pattern pieces total, it's a breeze to cut and sew. Let's see how long this project takes. I'm starting at 11:30 a.m. One tip I always use, I like to print out the instructions table of contents so that I can check things off as I go. It sounds simple, but it keeps you moving and gives you that little dopamine hit every time you cross something off. Plus, if you step away for a while, you can come back and know exactly where you left off. Cutting out the pieces was pretty straightforward. Here's something that'll save you so much time and frustration. Take a moment to label any pieces that might be confusing so you can see at a glance what they are. A little scrap of tape with front or back written on it can save you from that frustrating moment of trying to figure out which piece is which. Now here's one of my favorite time-saving tricks for interfacing. Instead of cutting out the small facing pieces and then fusing interfacing to each one individually, I like to interface a larger piece of fabric first and then cut the facing pieces from that. Think about it this way. If you cut first and interface second, you're handling 4 separate pieces: cutting, positioning, fusing, trimming. But if you interface first and cut second, you only handle 2 pieces. It might seem like a small thing, but those minutes add up. I cut out all 5 pattern pieces, including interfacing, in about 10 minutes. Next step, a key step that keeps your necklines from getting all stretched out and wavy. It's called stay stitching. And it's like putting a seatbelt on your fabric. It's just a line of stitching placed slightly inside the seam allowance on curved edges. Curves, especially necklines, have a tendency to stretch out as you handle the fabric. And once they're stretched, they won't match up properly with your facing. Stay stitching locks everything in place before that can happen. And it only took me about 5 minutes to stay stitch all my neckline pieces. Now it's time for the bust darts. A lot of beginners get nervous about darts, but they're actually pretty simple once you know this trick. You want to gently taper your stitching as you approach the tip. Don't sew straight. Curve it slightly. This creates a much more natural, rounded shape, instead of that pointy pucker that happens when you sew darts straight. Then, press over a tailor's ham to maintain that curved shape. The ham supports the curve of the fabric, so you're not flattening out all that nice shaping you just created. We actually have a great video on sewing darts where I cover this technique and several other tips, so I'll link that in the description if you want to dive deeper. These darts took me 4 or 5 minutes. This is coming together quickly already, but I still have a ways to go. Now it's time to make the pocket. This is one of my favorite parts because a well-made pocket is such a satisfying detail. I decided to mark the fold lines on the right side of the pocket with chalk so I'd be able to see them easily when I do the folding. Normally you'd mark on the wrong side, but for something like fold lines where precision really matters, I find it helpful to see exactly where I'm folding. Next, I finish the raw edges on 3 sides and turn those under to form a hem. Then I just turn the pocket along those fold lines I'd marked to create a little hem at the top. Now, to attach the pocket to the front, I used one of my absolute favorite notions. This is Wonder Tape, a wash-away basting tape that I use constantly. It's perfect for holding pieces in place, like patch pockets, without the distortion you can get from pins. You just stick it down on the back of your pocket. Position your pocket exactly where you want it, and it holds everything perfectly while you sew. Then it washes away completely. I honestly use this stuff constantly, which you probably know if you follow this channel. It just has so many cool uses. Then I just edge stitch the pocket in place using my edge stitch foot. This foot has a little guide that runs right along the folded edge of the pocket, so you get perfectly even stitching without having to eyeball it. The pocket took me a little over 10 minutes to assemble and attach. So I'm about halfway through now and I'm starting to wonder, can I really finish this in another half hour? Well, let's see. I still have all the assembly steps to do, but there's nothing really tricky here. It's shoulder seams, side seams, the facing, and the hem. Straightforward stuff. I think we can make it. Speaking of making things quickly and easily, want to download this pattern for free? Hansie is designed to be simple to sew, even if you're a beginner. It's a great stash buster that you can make in almost any fabric. I'll put a link in the description where you can get it right now for free. All right, let's keep moving. First, I sewed the shoulder seams, finished them, and pressed them open. Then I did the same with the side seams. This part was super fast, only about 5 minutes. It's kind of funny how little details like pockets can take so much longer than big construction steps like joining the main pieces together. But that's sewing for you. The devil really is in the details. Now it's time to assemble the facing and attach it to the neckline. This is where your garment really starts to look finished. First, I sewed the facing pieces together at the shoulders, which was really fast. Then I finished that outer edge with the serger. I like using a serger for this because it gives you a quick, clean finish that doesn't add extra bulk like a turned hem might. If you don't have a serger, you can also use a zigzag stitch or pinking shears. Either works fine. Then I pinned the facing to the neckline, making sure to match all of the seams and notches. This matching is important. If your shoulder seams don't line up with the facing shoulder seams, you'll get little puckers or pulls at those points. Now here's a step that a lot of people skip, and it makes such a huge difference. Understitching. Understitching is what keeps your facing from rolling to the outside of your garment. You know how sometimes you see a neckline where the facing keeps peeking out? That's what happens when you skip this step. Here's how to do it. First, press the seam allowance toward the facing. Make sure to clip the curves as you go so everything lays flat. On an inward curve, like a neckline, you need those little clips to release the tension. Then you just edge stitch the seam allowance to the facing, sewing about 1/8 of an inch from the seam line. You're stitching through the facing and both layers of the seam allowance, but not through the main garment. This anchors everything in place, so when you flip that facing to the inside, it wants to stay there. It's one of those invisible techniques that separates garments that look polished from ones that look a little bit off. Finally, I top stitch down the outer edge of the facing to the garment. This holds the facing in place and keeps it from flopping around when you're wearing the shirt. You can also do this from the right side of the garment and even use a contrasting thread for a little detail here if you want. I'll share some more really fun ideas for customizing this pattern in a minute. All of that, assembling the facing, attaching it, understitching, and top stitching, took 15 minutes. So the only thing that's left is the hemming. So can I still finish it in time? The hems on Hansie are just simple turned hems. I press them under, stitch them down, and finish the project right on time. Phew, not a lot to spare, but I did it in just under an hour. I was so excited I had to try it on over my dress right away. Maybe it's not the best look with stripes underneath, but I still think it's really cute. And honestly, the satisfaction of going from flat fabric to finished garment in an hour, that just never gets old. And if you're more of a beginner, don't worry about getting it done in an hour. The shortcuts I shared will still save you time, but don't push yourself too hard. You'll get there eventually because this pattern is super easy. And there are just so many fun ways you can customize this pattern and make it your own. Because the beauty of a simple design like Hansie is that it's a perfect canvas for adding your own creative touches. Here's the first idea. Make a contrast pocket in a different fabric. This is such an easy way to add visual interest. You could use a print that picks up colors from the main fabric or go bold with something completely unexpected. You could also top stitch the facing with a contrasting thread. Instead of matching your thread to the fabric, use something that pops. It turns that functional top stitching into a design element. Or if your machine has decorative stitches you never use, here's your chance. Instead of a simple straight stitch for the top stitching, try one of those fancy stitches. A subtle scallop or a simple decorative pattern can add a really lovely detail. Another option, add trim at the neckline. A bit of lace, some rickrack, or a pretty bias binding can completely change the look of the shirt. You could make the pocket a different shape. The pattern has a simple square pocket. What about a curved bottom or a heart shape? This is a great place to play. Or add a band of lace to the bottom hem for a more feminine look. You could sew a button onto the pocket just for decoration or make it functional with a little buttonhole loop. And if you're into embroidery, the neckline and pocket are perfect spots for a little hand-stitched embellishment. Even something simple like a few lazy daisies or some running stitches can make the garment feel completely custom. The point is, once you know you can sew this in an hour, you've got room to experiment. Make a basic version first to get the construction down, then go wild with the next one. If you loved how quick this woven tee came together, imagine making a cozy cardigan just as easily. Watch this video next to learn how to sew your first cardigan in just 10 simple steps.